The following live program has mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Dating. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a secret code that could make the object of your affections immediately adore you? Well, according to these guys, there is. Tonight on Sex Matters, we look into the not-so-secret world of pickup artists, men who teach other men exactly what they need to do to land a date. Plus, we take to the streets to play Truth or Dare. Welcome to Sex Matters. I'm your host, Cynthia Loyce. Tonight we're talking all about pickup artists. Men around the world and right here in Toronto pay big bucks to learn how to land a date. It's an intriguing and controversial community that's more popular than you think. But I'm joined now by dating coach Derek, who's also known as Cajun. Do you think that we need to know about Tiger Woods?
I think so, yeah. I think it's important.
I think it's important.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to get right to this. You are part of what's known as the seduction community. Yeah. I know it's very diverse around the world. Yes. But I want to know, how did you get involved in the seduction community?
I guess it's not too interesting a story, but I met a guy in a bar, essentially. I was at a bar, and I saw this guy talking to two girls, and I thought, wow, those two girls are very beautiful. Mm-hmm. And so I decided that I was going to go talk to them, even though they were there with that guy. And I went over and talked to them, and when I went and talked to them, the guy just kind of sat back and kind of was paying attention to me, kind of trying to see, what is this guy doing? What is he going to say? And then after a couple of minutes, did a good enough job. He was kind of like, I know what you're doing, dude. You're good at this. You're good at this. It ended up being he was a teacher for the company I work for now, and he was teaching a workshop that night, and so I sort of inadvertently kind of stumbled upon that. And
so clearly you already had some good moves on your side. You weren't somebody who was having a hard time meeting women. Not
really, no. At the time when I met him, I had been sort of practicing for a year, trying to work out what how to get good at that stuff, how to be more social, how to go from meeting people in bars to making relationships and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, well, this past weekend, I got to come along to a weekend workshop that happened right here in Toronto, and I felt very honored to be there to sort of get a bird's eye view on what happens at seduction workshops. So, take a look.
Welcome to Love Systems Dating Bootcamp, all right? We're going to teach you guys a little bit of the secrets of how to be more attractive to women.
Trust us and try things that you haven't tried before.
None of you guys are going to be, pickup artists by the end of the weekend, but you are going to learn all the tools to put you onto that path to get there.
A lot of guys lack the confidence to walk up to a girl who they like and start a conversation. And that skill alone, we teach them a lot more than that, but that skill alone is enough to completely change someone's dating life. Different guys, they have different goals, and we try to cater to all of them.
So she has to go from sort of not knowing who you are to being maybe curious about you, to being attracted to you. She also has to feel comfortable around you. And then things need to start getting sexual. We're going to teach you how to go through each of these sort of phases one step at a time.
How did you learn these techniques of seduction?
I found this out on the internet about 7 years ago. And because I was really confused by women and had no idea really what they wanted. It's been an interesting adventure. I meet a lot of interesting people. I'd like to change the way that men think about themselves and about their role as men. I don't think that modern society has a strong concept of what a guy is supposed to be like, and I would like to have a role in defining that in a way that's positive and good for both men and women.
Fascinating. I mean, whenever I even mention this to anybody, that there's these pickup workshops that happen in the city, they were just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, is it surprising for you that there's such a demand for this?
Not really. I mean, it's one of those things that no matter, the culture or wherever in the world, men always are sort of looking to get better at this sort of stuff, It's been there forever, so it doesn't surprise me really at all.
So what are some of the specific methodologies that you guys teach? I know there's like a lot of even terminologies that you use, so give me a few of those.
Well, I mean, it kind of runs the gamut. I mean, we teach everything from body language, humor, self-confidence, how to start a conversation, like how to initiate it, dates, how to get a phone number or talk on the phone. It's really everything from the point of meeting someone into starting a relationship. And even then, once you have the relationship, we kind of go over the whole sort of process.
So the goal isn't necessarily, like, I think that we think of pickup artists and we think that the goal is going to be just like it's a numbers game, right? You want to make sure that you get a certain amount of numbers. And is that part of it? Because I imagine that the more you do it, the better you get at it.
I don't think it's part of it. I mean, the term pickup artist is something that I don't like. I don't refer to myself as a pickup artist. I think it's kind of a little bit of a sleazy kind of term.
It is a bit sleazy.
It is,
for sure.
but it's just used so much in the media. It's one of those hot terms now. At least when you're describing what I do, that I've kind of come to terms with it. But no, I don't think it's a numbers game. I think it's about making a genuine connection.
And so I mean, some of the things that I was hearing in the workshop were like that you isolate the target, and that you approach the group like a set. So like, tell me about that, because that does sound a little bit kind of like you're distancing the human part of the female.
Right. Well, the thing is, a lot of the time we use those terms not necessarily because we actually teach those terms and like that. A lot of the guys that come to our course have read sort of this material that we understand, they're familiar with, and so we use these terms just because they're familiar with them. But isolating the target would be making sure that you are choosing the girl you want to talk to instead of just sort of trying to flirt with everyone in the group. You know, you choose the one you like and you make an effort to really communicate with her on a more individual level.
But do you make the effort to communicate with her directly? Because sometimes I've heard that there's a technique where you actually you kind of ignore that girl.
Well, it's not necessarily ignoring her. It's all about sort of, I mean, if you went right in and sort of expressed your interest to the one you really liked, she's probably the one that the guys usually like, and she's probably the one that her friends are used to this happening. And so they have a tendency to sort of be like, okay, here's another guy hitting on our hot friends, we're going to tell him to take off.
Absolutely.
So there's sort of, we have things to deal with those sort of things.
Okay, we have a lot more to talk about.
Okay.
It's time now for a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Coming up on Sex Matters, find out what happens when these pickup artists in training take to the field and make a move. Let's just say you won't want to miss it.